Good morning. Welcome to our devotional series on To Love as Jesus Loved. As we continue down this series looking at the different characteristics of love and how the life of Christ revealed those characteristics to us, I would like us to notice for this morning's devotional, charity is not easily provoked. In other words, love is not easily provoked. We pretty much all know what provoked means. It means to, become irritated, to become angry. Here we're told that if we have true love in our life, we're not going to be easily angered. We're not going to be easily irritated. Another way to put it, we're going to be more patient with others. Not lose our tempers at them, but patiently try to work with them, even in the midst of conflict and opposition. That's a true sign of love. As we think of others, it's easy to see at times how others can make us angry and how we need to show patience toward them. But think about it, that applies to our Lord as well. If we love our Lord like we should, when things don't go our way during the course of a day, we're not going to quickly blame the Lord and get angry at Him for something that takes place. We're going to recognize the fact He's a loving, kind Lord that will take care of us, and He's only allowing the seeming opposition in our life to help us to grow and help us to be strong. Okay, where do we find this example illustrated in the life of Christ? The idea that He is not easily angered. Well, I'll tell you what. In Isaiah 53, verses 2 and 3, we find a prophecy about Christ and all He went through when He came to the earth. Folks, if anybody had a legitimate reason to become angry, it's Christ. Listen to all He went through while He lived His life on earth. Isaiah 53, 2 and 3 gives us a summary of what He went through. For He shall grow up before Him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, that when we shall see Him, there is no beauty that we should desire Him. He is despised, rejected of men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. We hid, as it were, our faces from Him. He was despised, and we esteemed Him not. Man alive. If any one of us even began to go through what Christ went through during His earthly ministry, we all would have lost it a long time ago. Not so with Christ. He was the truly patient, kind, loving Lord that did not become angered easily, even though He would have been very much justified to be angry at the sin that was going on around Him. Listen to Isaiah 53:7. He was oppressed, He was afflicted, yet He opened not His mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb. So He opened not His mouth. Folks, He didn't even open His mouth to defend Himself during times of false accusation, during times when He was accused to have done heinous things. He was accused of blaspheming God. He was accused of being a false teacher, among many other things. He didn't even open His mouth to try to defend Himself. That's what a kind Lord He was. Remember, He did it all because He loved us. He was willing to go through all of that because He knew it was necessary to go through those things so that He might give us a way of salvation. Turn, if you would please, to Luke 22, verse 47. Luke 22:47. While He yet spake, behold, a multitude, and he that was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them, and drew near unto Jesus to kiss Him. But Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss? But when they which were about Him saw what would follow, they said unto Him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? And one of them smote the servant of the high priest, and cut off his right ear. Jesus answered and said, Suffer ye thus far. And He touched his ear and healed him. Then Jesus said unto the chief priests and the captains of the temple and the elders which were come to Him, Be ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves? When I was daily with you in the temple, ye stretched not forth no hands against me, but this is your hour in the power of darkness. Then they took him and led him and brought him into the high priest's house, and Peter followed him afar off. And the men that held Jesus mocked him and smote him. This is verse 63. And when they had blindfolded him, they struck him on the face and asked him, saying, Prophesy, who is it that smote thee? And many other things blasphemy spake they against him. Folks, that was just one event of many where he suffered greatly. In our next devotional, we'll look at part 2 in this subject of Christ not allowing himself to be irritated and angry quickly. We'll look at that in part number 2, this account that we read, where the soldiers confront Jesus to arrest him. Until next time, may the Lord bless you as you seek to love others and show that love by not becoming irritated and angry during the course of your day. Lord bless you as you continue on living your life for him.